Welcome back to the Fantasy Hockey Podcast. Yep, this week we are doing 10 takes. Some people questioned whether it would exist anymore. Some people thought we had forsaken them. Nope, we are back. We are here. We're alive. Brandon is alive, as you saw on the Unsustainable episode, but he is still alive. Have to make sure people know that. So here we are with 10 takes. It's been a week.
It's been a week.
If it's not COVID, we still get postponements.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, I hate saying this because it's always like, well, it doesn't matter. But at the same time, like, thoughts out to everyone in Texas. That is just brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, what's going on out there? I've seen, like, it's sad too because I feel like I've seen, especially a lot of people that live in cold climates, be kind of talked down almost about it. It's like, oh, well, it's only whatever. And it's like, oh, it's only 2 days. How are they starving? How are they cold? I wouldn't want to be without heat in the cold for 2 days. Pipes bursting everywhere. Like, it is really brutal. So I feel for everyone out there. And if anyone's out there in Texas and there's anything we can do, let us know, because I'm sure we'd be happy to help. I know we'd be happy to help. Why am I talking as if I don't know us? I know us. Weird. It's my mental state at the moment. Anyways, so let's start 10 takes here. My first one. So is Line better in Columbus?
I
don't know that the answer is no.
I don't think I'm willing to say anything about that yet. It feels early. I still think that the lack of power play points is what's going to hurt him the most, but we'll see.
I agree. I think the power. I mean, right now he's also benefiting a ton from that ridiculous shooting percentage from Atkinson.
Yeah,
but they do seem to be clicking.
They do.
I do got to give Line some credit there.
It's really better news for Atkinson than it is for anybody, to be fair.
It is. Yeah, for sure. And Roslovic as well. Roslovic is also just. They all are absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. All right, my first take is, this will be the second take, is right now is the time to make big trades, I think.
Yes.
Before you know it, we are entering week 6 of, we have 12 in most of our leagues because we cut out the final week, which we always do for the playoffs. So we're almost halfway through the season. And what that means is teams that are near the bottom have to start making desperation trades. They have to start trading blue chip players. You know, Malkin, I guess, is kind of Malkin and Zibanejad are probably the examples that most people are thinking about when they think of these players that you can't drop really, but also how long do you wait? Although Malkin just had a big game. But anyway, those two players are the ones that come to mind of like, what do you do with them if you're in 8th place, if you're in 9th place, if you're in 10th place, but there's still like room to make it into the playoffs.
Yep.
That's when you really have to decide, like, maybe you just hope that a semi-buy high type player stays hot, you know, like a Garland or something. I'm not speaking to anyone for once here. I'm not saying trade Malkin for Garland or something, but I'm just saying that, like, there comes to a point when your team is struggling that there's no real reason to hang on to struggling players also. And we're at that point. It seems like we're getting here quickly, but it's just, it's a shortened season. So that's what it is. So, and you basically have, like, honestly, just a few weeks left to trade with bottom place teams while keeping your consciousness and your soul. You know what I mean? If you're the type of player that's like making big trades with statistically eliminated teams, you're a bad person. Don't do that. Unless it's a keeper, then it's okay.
Yeah, unless it's a keeper, I was going to say, because I do that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a different scenario. I mean, in redraft leagues, that's like, just don't. Like, there's no reason to ever bring up if you're statistically eliminated, you should be just coasting. If you're trying to make trades, there's like, why? It's just, all you're going to do is make people wonder if you're colluding, and it's just not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about that right now. I'm top of the league in one, and then in another league, I've got Zibanejad. And I'm kind of in that scenario right now where I'm top 3 team. I clearly have a really competitive team. My keeper league, which you might have seen me draft if you've been watching us since the preseason. And I don't really know what to do with him. I'm kind of I mean, I'm thinking about maybe flipping him for like Pacioretty or Blake Wheeler or something, and targeting, you know, that realm of where I can put a pick in, and at the end of the day, maybe it comes out even, but I think I have more faith in a Wheeler or a Pacioretty or one of those guys than I do a Zibanejad right now. It's tough. I mean, I've also thought about maybe flipping him for Malkin.
Decision being in first.
You do.
You can wait.
I do.
You need to.
Yeah, I can wait. But the thing is that I think that if you're in first, in the one thing I like doing when I'm in first is I do like kind of kicking the trade season off. So I like kicking it off, at least in my keeper league, which is very kind of the trade happy. A lot of people trade. It's so different to my points league, which never trades. You can knock on the door and no one responds, kind of thing. Whereas my keeper league, like, everyone is happy to trade. And I sometimes like setting off the kind of trade season, seeing where things go, letting people start to pay more and more, and then I kind of bring it back down to earth at the end. And I'm like, okay, how about this? And then it gets accepted, you know? So I like to kind of keep it in control. Or, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do this year. I don't have a lot of trade pieces. I don't really know what I'm going to do with my picks, because the thing is, with the way the season's gone, what I'm worried about is that I'm going to be trading away picks and stuff for what? For a season that so far has been a gamble.
Yeah.
So I think I want to wait a week or two to see how the COVID situation gets dealt with. I think if they can bring it under control, I'll feel much more comfortable trading picks.
Or just all the players will get it by the end of the season anyway.
Yeah, or something like that. So it's like, if that's not the case, if I don't feel confident in kind of how the league is going to handle COVID, and I think that there's going to be postponements every week, then honestly, it's a big luck game. Why am I trading away picks and stuff for next year if my team has been competitive enough already, and ultimately I'm just trading one gamble for another gamble with an upgraded pick? It doesn't really make sense to me. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll keep you updated on what I do. But yeah, right now is the time to at least... The other thing I'd say there, just to add on to it, if you're not trading right now, start to think about trades.
Yeah.
Start to think about where you might need to fill gaps in. Like, where might you not be as competitive in? For example, in my keeper league, where I'm not competitive in is blocks. So does that mean maybe I should punt it? Maybe I should chase it? What do you do there? And you look at your situation in net too, and you say, okay, maybe I'm losing saves. Do I need another goaltender? Where do I target? Who could I go after? Cam Talbot might be an option if he can stay healthy. Things like that, you know? So just start to think about it now. That said, let's move on to the third take now. My second take, the third take. Eichel trade rumors.
Really? Oh boy.
Yeah. So apparently the Kings and the Rangers had offers on the table. They know, I think it was Friedman that tweeted this. Apparently there is unrest. Eichel has not asked for a trade, but teams know that he is unsettled. There have been unsettled, yes. They have put offers in. Apparently the Kings and the Rangers have put offers in.
I mean, he's sitting in Buffalo in like an awful winter, so I can't imagine he's super comfortable in general.
I mean, neither am I. I'm not very comfortable either. But, so the Rangers and the Kings are apparently the only two teams that can offer something. The Rangers are interesting. I would love to have Eichel on the Rangers. I think that'd be unbelievable.
Well, so would any team.
One of the rumors... Yeah, of course. It's interesting. I think the Rangers actually have the pieces to make it happen. As long as it doesn't include Fox, I think I'm okay with it. Like, if it were Zibanejad, Kraftstoff, and like a pick, I'm in for that. I think it would have to include probably Zibanejad, although he's not really helping our trade value here right now. But
yeah, I don't know what they'd want.
But anyways,
from the Rangers, I wonder if it'd be one of Kakko or Lafreniere.
I don't think so. Apparently, what I read was Fox probably they want. Which makes sense. Though you have Darlene too, so the hell.
Yeah, but the rest of man, I remember them. They had so many good defensive pieces, and I don't know what happened to any of them at this point. Maybe they all just kind of regressed.
Yeah, I do wonder what is going to happen there. I don't. I feel like there's been Eichel rumors for a long time now, and where there's smoke, there's usually something there.
Yeah.
So,
although I guess they don't have any defensive defensemen really. They've got like a bunch of offensive-minded defensemen.
Yeah, they have, Risto, who's a forward, Darlene, who's a forward, and then other.
They've got Colin Miller. They've got Yogi Haru. Yeah.
They're a plethora. It's plethora, not plethora. This is not Sephora. God.
I'm going to move us on.
I'm done talking.
I'm going to save you here.
Move us on. Save me, please.
All right, the next take I've got here is, so Thomas Shabbat seems to be coming in and out of the lineup quite a bit, and you'd think that Brandstrom would be the one taking over top power play duties when he's not there, but it's been Christian Wolainen. I don't know how much to worry or pay attention to this, but it is interesting in deep leagues that are looking for something. Like previously it was Mike Riley that was getting that role. Brandstrom makes a lot of sense, but for whatever reason, he's not getting it. So if for some reason Shabbat winds up missing a few games or whatever, and you're in a deep enough league that you're really struggling to find anybody that plays top power play, Wolainen's all right. He could actually do something maybe. Nothing that'll be worth rostering him in typical leagues. But if you're rostering, 300 plus players, then he starts to become something you pay attention to in those situations.
Man, I'm sad that they didn't give it to the elite Mike Riley.
He did all right with it when he had it, honestly.
He did.
Strangely enough.
I don't see what he did to not deserve it again. As a Mike Riley stan, I'm very disappointed.
He's just the wrong Riley. He's just, everybody hates him because his name's Riley and he's not Morgan.
Pretty much. They're like, damn it, we didn't get Morgan. Oh, they're not related, right? No, they're
names
spelled
the same
differently.
Yeah.
I always do this. I know. I always do this. Dumb. Anyways, fifth take here. So Fleury's good again, it seems.
Yeah. Put a good defenseman in front of him and he does all right.
Didn't expect this turn of events. I'm here. So here's one thing that I've been thinking about, and I actually tweeted about this, I think 2 weeks ago. So a lot of teams this season are doing the 1A, 1B thing.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see how that works going into the playoffs, especially for a team like the Vegas Golden Knights. What do you do in the playoffs? How do you choose between Leonard and Fleury? Do you just run the hottest goaltender? Do you continue this one? This is where I'm getting to. I'm very curious to see if eventually in the playoffs we will see 1A, 1B rotations happen throughout playoff series. Like they do in the regular season. Because it's really weird to me that, we're seeing this. I feel like we're seeing this shift, right, from core starters throughout the season and then a core starter throughout playoff series. Now we're seeing more of a 1A, 1B go through the season and then a core starter in the playoffs. Kind of weird. I think we're kind of moving towards this. We're getting to the area where it has to be 1A, 1B in the season and 1A, 1B in the playoffs, because I feel like you can't do that to goaltenders in the season, do 1A, 1B truly, and then you get to the postseason and you're like, okay, you know what? Yep, one of you's just not starting.
Yeah, I think that this isn't even going to be a conversation in 5 years. I honestly think that most teams are going to go to a 1A, 1B, and it will be consistent throughout the playoffs because you want to be able to rest two solid goaltenders.
Yeah.
If you try to if you try to play a goaltender over and over and over and over and over, you're just increasing the risk of injury with fatigue. And, if they pull something in a game and they don't tell you about it or whatever, and they go and play the next game and the next game and the next game, sooner or later you're going to wind up with an injury. And I think that it just makes a lot of sense in general with how good just NHL defenses are as a whole, but also that a lot of these, look at Jake Allen, right? A lot of these goalies that didn't do so well when they were played back to back to back to back suddenly do well when they're not played that way. And I think that I think that in the grand scheme of things, that's the way that things should be developed. You may still have your primary guy, your game 7 goaltender, but I don't think that any of these teams should feel like they need to rely on a true 1A. Although, poor Florida. Yeah, boy. At least Streeter seems to be pretty good, but that Bob contract, my God.
Oh, $10 million backup.
Whew.
You know what's crazy is he got benched after having good games. It's just kind of weird to me is he actually played well, and that's when he got benched. I don't really understand that. All of a sudden Bob's playing well, and now now you're riding the pine, buddy.
Yep. Well,
it's weird. Weirdness. Anyways, what's your next take?
My next take is actually staying in Vegas. The Golden Knight golden helmets are awful.
No, they're not.
They are awful. They were awful when they were developed. They were awful on the ice. They're awful. The only person okay, wait. Fleury looks fine in his gold helmet. I'll give him that. But when you have all the skaters wearing these it's just
Dude, come on.
It's just
Come
not
on.
good. It's not good. It's
You're
too
telling
glossy.
me-
Glossy helmets are
You tell me you
bad.
didn't- You tell me you didn't like that shot of Wild Bill kind of leaning against the ice with his hair flowing in the golden bucket?
I hate the golden. I hate everything about them.
I'm gonna get one to wear on the show.
Good.
I'm gonna find
I hope
one.
it
I'm gonna wear it on
fuses
the
to your
show.
head permanently.
I permanently just have a golden bucket on my head.
Yes.
I'm gonna get one. Here's my only criticism of it is that it kind of looked collegey. Like it didn't feel like it.
It's
It also felt like
it's
it didn't.
too glossy.
Yeah, that's one thing. It felt really glossy. I think it could be more matte, and it looked better. I think if it were a more matte gold, it'd look a
Matte
lot
gold
better.
is. I mean, you're starting to get into like diarrhea brown territory if you mess that up.
No. Oh yeah, if you mess it up, I agree. But there's a way to do good matte bright gold. I think.
Yeah, you're probably
like,
right.
If you get,
it would. Yeah,
you know,
you'd have to add a little bit of
need
red
some
to
glitter.
a bright yellow, probably. But
Oh, I was gonna say glitter, but I mean, actual
why
color
glitter?
blending
What
works
are we
too, I
talking
guess.
about?
I don't.
Your takes are as bad as the gold helmets are.
I don't think they were that bad. I thought they were interesting. I thought it was a good twist.
Nobody
Like,
thought that. I bet you most of the players felt bad about wearing them.
I don't know about that. I bet some of them
Can
liked
somebody
it.
get us Mark Stone's agent? I want to know what he feels.
I want to know what Ryan Reeves thought. Can we pay for a cameo? and
I'm
ask him
sure
what he
we
thought
could.
of the gold
we
helmet.
should do that. We should
should do that.
Pay
We
for
should
a
ask
cameo
him.
of Ryan Reeves and ask him what he thinks about the golden buckets. Although
That would be.
I
that's
mean
a
the
great use of
team. I
cameo.
don't know if he's allowed to criticize them. So who knows?
Doesn't he respond? Can't he tell you what he like if he's allowed to do it or not, so he can accept and reject the job? We should do this. We're looking into this. Adding this to my list of things. We're gonna look into doing a cameo of Ryan Reeves telling us what he thinks of the gold helmets, or we should get one of Evander Kane telling us what he thinks of the gold helmets.
I don't think
'cause
Evander
he
Kane
can say
does
whatever he
cameo, but I know
wants.
Ryan Reeves does. Although he may not now. He was doing it in the off season.
Okay, we'll have to check. We'll see. That would be a great use of FHP patron funds.
Yep.
Very, very great use of funds right there. Okay, next take here. Nashville is god awful.
Yeah.
Like, they are atrocious. Actually atrocious. Their win percentage right now is 0.4. Detroit's, I think, is 0.368. They are just... They got shut out 3-0 by Columbus today.
The thing
It's
is, I
really
feel like
bad
they
there.
have a lot of the pieces. It
Really?
makes me think it's a system problem. Like their forwards aren't like great, honestly. They have a few
Their
good
forwards
pieces
are
on
terrible.
forwards. Their defense is, they have pretty good defenders. So what's happening? Like they shouldn't.
They have no centers.
Yeah, I mean they have Matt Duchene, the heavily lauded, bouncing all over the place. Matt Duchene, best trade ever for Colorado or whatever. But yeah, I don't know.
Fact about
I mean,
Nashville,
they're
1-6.
They
away.
definitely like again. They're not. They don't have. I don't expect them to be like the best in their division or something, but I also don't expect them to be the worst in the league.
They're bad.
Somebody's going to get fired soon. I mean, that has to be the case.
It's so bad. They have a negative 19 goal differential right now. Detroit has a negative 21.
What's Ottawa?
Ottawa is at negative 34.
Okay, so the worst in America then.
But Nashville is second worst, or third worst, sorry.
Yeah,
They're
right.
the third worst in the league. And then you have the the Honda West Division, where only 3 teams are positive. Fun times. Fun times there. Everyone sucks, essentially. No one can figure it out.
I think we kind of knew that
so that's
going in, to be fair, but yeah. All right, what's your next take? Hello, did you die, sir?
Oh. Yeah, my mic died for some reason.
Oh, well,
I was saying that if I'm about to give up on Arvidsson, honestly, because
Yeah.
they're that bad.
You can give up on
They're that
Arvidsson.
bad.
He's not even
I
playing.
don't
He was playing third line tonight. It's like,
Glad I used my top waiver on him.
yep.
Good. Okay. What's
Had
your next
had to
take?
pat myself
Move
on the
us
back at the beginning of the season, and now it just turns
Now,
out he's
you've
bad.
done. Turns out he's not good. Although he does have a 4% shooting right now, which is just
Yeah, I mean, I still
normal.
think I was correct in my assessment that he was probably playing injured last season, but
yes.
because he is he's willing to take shots this season, but I don't know.
Yeah, 4 shots again tonight.
Yeah, it's just
Is what it is.
he's Victor Arvidsson.
He is.
I don't even remember where we were when we started that take. Was that your take or my take? It was your take. For
That was my
Nashville.
take.
Okay,
That was my take. So you're up next.
all right. My next one here is that it sure looks like Austin Matthews is going to be tough to catch for the Rocket Richard this season.
Oh, yeah.
I think that it was. I feel like as soon as they made the divisions, he became the favorite anyway.
Yeah.
You know, you're looking at what that division looks like defensively and the goals against last season and like where the weak points are, and it turns out every team is weak defensively except for like Montreal and Calgary. So it was just open season up there for goal scorers. No surprise that Besser is way up there, and Connor's way up there, and obviously Draisaitl and whatnot. But if the Rocket Richard winner does not come from the Canadian division, I will be very surprised.
I'll be
Even if
shocked.
it isn't Matthews.
Yeah. I will be shocked if it's not.
I think R&H is up there too. I think he's got like 9
Yeah.
or 10.
I think it's close.
It's crazy.
Like that.
That division is exactly what we thought it would be, and it's amazing.
Oh, absolutely. I love it. I love every second of it. By the way, I forgot that the coach in Nashville is actually John Hines.
Yep.
Terrible.
Yep.
He should get fired. Again.
Yep.
As if getting fired from the
I don't know what I
Devils
thought was
isn't
going to
bad
happen.
enough. I don't know what they expected. I have zero sympathy. I think they should have expected it, honestly. Kind of my take. Okay.
Just let Yossi
my next
coach
one
the
here.
team
I'd be okay with
from
that.
the ice.
I'd be okay. I would love to see a player coach. It's happened in soccer before. I would love to see it in hockey. I don't think it would work.
It'd be hard
Actually,
to get the line shifts out there. I guess you have to have an
You know who
assistant
I'd like
to
to
do
see.
that.
I'd like to see Fleury as player coach. I think that'd be fun with a golden bucket specifically.
Bring Brizgalov back and have him be a coach.
Oh yes, please. Give me Brizgala pet pox all day.
I think he
okay,
would probably just like do something crazy, like make the lines alphabetical or something.
Probably all bear types. The polar bear line, the grizzly bear line, the black bear line, the
He just plays Ethan Bear by
what's
himself.
the fourth? Ethan Bear. That's a good one. That was good. I didn't think of that, but that is very good. I'll give you that. Okay, my ninth take here. So if you're watching this on YouTube, I just want to do a little experiment because we are now about 20 minutes into the episode or so. If you've made it this far, leave what emoji should we leave? I want people to leave an emoji comment randomly. Just leave what emoji should we use? Should we use the rocket? Nah, the rocket's overused recently. Is there an otter?
An otter.
otter
I don't know
emoji?
if there's an otter.
I don't know.
You need a
I'm-
cat or something.
Oh, let's do a cat. How about just leave some kind of cat emoji, whether it's the cat face or the cat. Just comment a cat randomly. You don't have to ask a question, nothing like that, or ask a question. But if you ask a question, you gotta include the cat because we get so many questions from people who clearly don't listen to the episode.
Yeah, it happens
don't
constantly.
watch. It's insane. So I wanted to do a little experiment and see how many people actually get this far. So if you get this far and have a question, include a cat emoji. Obviously if you're listening to the podcast, you can go to YouTube and do this if you want to, but otherwise it's just a fun little YouTube experiment. Or you can tweet us actually with a cat. Tweet us, yeah, you can tweet us with a cat too. One or the other. Just some kind of cat emoji. All kinds of cat emojis.
We'll confuse the
they're
rest
all
of the fantasy hockey space.
And so confuse the rest of the fantasy hockey space, and I want to confuse the people in the YouTube comments when we respond to cat emojis only, and then people are like, wait, what's happening? So just some kind of cat emoji, please. Because, yeah, just listen to the episodes before you ask questions. I know it's tough to sometimes do because you get excited, but, like, we do cover usually a lot of the topics people actually have questions about. So, anyways, leave a cat emoji, Twitter, or on the YouTube comments. I'd appreciate it. It'll be a fun little experiment. Let's confuse a bunch of people. Anyways, you go on to your next take. I think it'll be funny. It'll be funny if there's just cat emojis everywhere.
Was that your ninth take? Is to tell people to make cat emojis?
That's my ninth. That's my ninth take.
My last one brings us right back to the start of this episode. Dallas has not played a single game all week because of the blizzard and the shutdowns and all that not so fun stuff down there. But the funny thing is that in any other season, this would be like crazy, and people would be freaking out about losing a week's worth of Dallas starts. I mean, I get that I'm kind of skimming, like glossing over the fact that, you know, there's a lot of people in trouble in Texas right now in various directions, but this is a fantasy show, so the way that it impacts fantasy here would typically there'd be a lot more discussion about this, but it's so commonplace now because of all the postponements due to COVID that it's the first couple games got postponed. I didn't even put two and two together. I was just so used to. I was like, oh yeah, it's this season. Games get postponed constantly. Like, I guess that's just what things are. COVID or something. I don't know. I like didn't even pay any mind. It wasn't until like this a little while later that I realized that it was a really wide scale problem down there. But it's surreal almost how used to disruption we are at this point because of being in a pandemic for so long.
You're right. I didn't even think of that. I mean, I remember I picked up Rope Hints for this week, and then he went day to day and he got postponed, and I assumed, okay, that's it, COVID. Yep. And then I started reading up on the Texas stuff, and I was like, oh my God, that's really bad. And then it wasn't until like the next day that I checked the postponement. I was like, oh wow, that's because of Dallas stuff that's going on. They had no power. And now like the whole week is postponed. The Tampa games are postponed now as well through the week. Mm-hmm. Dallas is probably going to be, I think Dallas actually won't finish the season.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do.
Semi-outlandish take right now is I don't think Dallas finished the season. I think Dallas gets the good old point percentage because they're too behind at this point. It's insane. They have so many games to catch up. Really is nuts. I don't know what they're going to do there. But yeah, I mean, you're right. It is crazy how used to that postponed symbol we've gotten, right? And how much we assume that it's just from COVID immediately.
Yep.
I don't remember this ever happening, aside from like a snowstorm when like multiple games got postponed because of like a power outage and stuff. That's for a whole week. That is nuts.
Yeah, I feel like I don't even really like. It was so unusual for there to be a postponed game, just one. Yeah. In other seasons, like it would be something weird happened for that to happen.
I remember it happened for a Carolina game. Oh, it was a Carolina Isles. No, maybe Carolina Washington. And they had to, or maybe it was some kind of Carolina game because in North Carolina they delayed it. Or what am I saying? Washington. It was a Washington game. Buffalo games have also been postponed. People listening live have reminded me. Buffalo games. I know a Washington game has been postponed. I want to say an Isles game was postponed once.
Yeah, not recently.
When we had like 3 years ago or so, we had tickets, I think, and it got postponed. But
I remember
it was really, really rare.
This is a total aside that doesn't matter at all, but I remember there was, I think this was Christmas Eve or something like that. And for some reason, my wife was out of town, and it was a really snowy, crappy day. And at this point, I lived in Queens, and this is when the Isles played in Brooklyn. And I was like, oh, I had season tickets, but like I was thinking I wasn't going to go, right? Like my wife wasn't there, so I'm going to be going kind of by myself because most people are out, doing Christmassy things. And I was like, you know what? They're doing like one of those Isles Christmas t-shirt giveaways. And it's against Ottawa, so it should be fun. And I like trudged down to Brooklyn. It was awful. It was just, there was so much snow, even with public transportation, like take the subway. It was so hard to get there. And I get there and the shirts are gone. And then we just got shelled. It was just like, this sucks. Christmas sucks. Snow sucks. Hockey sucks. I'm going home. It was dumb. I should have stayed home.
You got exactly what you deserved, to be honest.
I did. I just sat there angrily. And I watched the whole game, too, and it was so obvious that it was going to go poorly. It was like halfway through the second period. I'm like, I should leave, but I can't. I can't allow myself to leave.
We did eventually go to a Christmas time game, like around that season, and get Isles Christmas shirts.
We did the season,
I don't have mine
the season
anymore.
before.
Oh, it was the season before.
Yeah.
You should wear that next episode.
I have it.
You do? I know you do. That's why I'm saying you should wear it next episode so that people can see the Isles Christmas gear. I know it's nowhere near Christmas.
No, it's not. I do. I wear it on Christmas sometimes, actually.
You do. You wore it for the holiday special, I think, a year ago.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't done that in a long time. Anyways, so there you go. That was 10 takes. Very long 10 takes, but it was fun. I thought it was fun. I can't wait to see the cat emojis. Oh, I'm so excited. Let's move on to the pickup suggestions. So my first one here, there's not a lot to take advantage of this weekend, but there's one I like. Josh Morrissey from Winnipeg, 28% owned. He's been killing it. He's on a 4-game or 3-game point streak. I don't remember exactly right now. 4 or 3-game point streak, playing tons of minutes. Good on the block peripherals as well. I like him. He's a really good gamble, I think, if you're thinking about teams this weekend. He has Friday and Sunday. It's hard to get starts this weekend with Saturday being so busy. So I picked up Josh Morrissey for Friday and Sunday. So he's probably my favorite pickup of the weekend.
Yeah, my first one here is Chris Drieger, 44% owned. He's going to get Detroit probably on Saturday in the sledge match where they're both tired. He might get him Friday, I guess, but honestly, I'd rather have him than Bob at this point anyway. So if you want to grab him early, then go ahead for it. But yeah, I think he's a good grab. Anybody's a good grab against Detroit. So if you're looking for late goalies, which if you have Khudobin and Price, that's the magic number right now, or Khudobin and Vasilevsky even, of not being able to get your min starts, then
oh boy,
yeah, I've got that situation going on in a couple of places, so that's fun.
It has been
Drieger can help you out in that scenario.
Or Linus Ullmark, who Brandon recommended. I listened to, even though I trashed his pick, and then I got a negative. It's honestly what I deserve. It really is. Truly what I deserve from that.
Or Mike Smith.
My next one here, Tyler Myers on Vancouver, another defenseman, 43% owned. Just a good gamble. Has the 2 off nights. Vancouver's starting to score again, it seems. I don't know. We'll see if that actually sticks. Who knows? But Tyler Myers has been involved in them. So I do like that play as a gamble. And that's really kind of what you're doing, right? At this point, is you're gambling. I like it if you think about like Tanner Pearson or whatever. I like Tyler Myers more than those guys. Unless you need shots, then Tanner Pearson is actually a decent one.
All right, my next one is Martin Nakash, center right wing, 8%. This is kind of like, I don't know that most people are going to be able to start somebody on Saturday, but in the odd event that you can, he's a pretty good option. But and like he was on sustainably high, but I mean that's really for like deeper leagues for him to be able to be somebody hang on to long term. But he plays Friday when you're hearing this probably, and then also Saturday, both times against Chicago. So there's opportunity there for a player that's been pretty hot lately.
Yeah, for sure. I like Nakash, and he might even be a long-term hold, honestly.
Yeah, in some leagues. I don't know that his lack of power play points is probably going to hold him back a bit, but
yeah. Okay. I have no more. So how about you just do your
2
last
more
one here? 2 more. Okay.
Both of these so they're both New Jersey Devil players, and so that gives them Saturday and Sunday. Again, I don't think people will be able to play them on Saturday, but they also do have 4 starts next week and 2 off nights, so decent hold in next week. But first one is Jesper Bratt, who is currently sitting on top power play. He's left wing, right wing, 2% owned, and he actually has been like doing things lately. He's got assists in his last 2 games, I believe. Shooting some. I mean, he's not amazing, but he probably should be more than 2% owned at this point. And the other one is Kyle Palmeri, who has dipped below 50% owned. and is sitting at 44%. He had a big game. We're recording this Thursday night. He had a big game tonight with 2 goals, including a shorty. And he always, I think he's kind of gotten to the point where he may not be a long-term hold in most leagues, but he's always going to be worth a stream when the opportunity presents itself for him to be a good an option. So Palmeri, 44%. I like him a lot, especially for Sunday.
Mm-hmm. I actually like one suggestion I'll kind of give is I actually kind of like picking up Rope Hintz towards the end of the week if you're up and putting him straight into your IR plus for next week. By the way, also if you're up, I would take a look at next week's schedule. It is brutal. It is so hard next week. So if you have ads and you're ahead, I would try to plan for next week and see what you can do because it is truly horrific, especially that Thursday, Saturday. That Thursday, Saturday is horrible.
Thursday's 10 games, Saturday's 11. That's not that bad. This Thursday and Saturday was worse than that. This Thursday was 11 and 14.
I am benching like mad next week. It's crazy. I really need to. I'm going to have to hunker down and figure it out because it's just brutal. But there you go. That is your weekend episode, your weekend suggestions, your 10 takes. Looking forward to your cat emojis. We will be doing a sit start Saturday.
Oh, my bad. I was 2 weeks ahead. I see. I actually, that is pretty bad. Thursday and Saturday.
Very bad. Yeah, it's very bad. So we will be then doing a week preview to help you prepare for that crazy week. And otherwise, thank you for listening and watching, I guess.
Yep. Thanks for listening.